I'm going to show you how to do the A-level physics required practical, verifying the inverse square relationship or inverse square law using gamma radiation. So I have myself a GM tube here, Geiger-Müller tube, and that detects radiation that hits it. That's hooked up to my scaler. This is just a counter, so every time this ticks, then that means that it's detected one bit of radiation. What we're going to do is see what the count rate is. We're going to be measuring how many bits of radiation are detected every minute, because that's a nice long period of time. You don't want to do it in seconds. First thing we need to do is have a background count, because there are background sources of radiation. We need to take those into account first. So I'm going to take my gamma source and just remove it fairly far away. So I'm going to start my stop clock and start the scaler so we can start detecting it at the same time. After a minute, my count is 20. That wasn't on purpose, that's purely by accident. So my background count is 20 counts per minute. So we just have to make sure that whenever we take a reading from now on, we take away that 20 from whatever number we have. That gives us the true count rate. Now I have my little bench here. I have my end of the GM tube lined up with the 0 on my bench. It's really important that you think about where you line everything up. I'm going to take my gamma source and I'm going to put it on the first line away from the GM tube. That's 3 centimeters there. So making sure that nothing moves throughout the whole experiment. This source you can use your hands, but you might have other sources where you have to use tongs instead. Just make sure that when you're not using the source that it's back in its container, so there's no radiation going out into the room unnecessarily. And also when you are using it and taking it out, make sure that you're pointing it away from people as well, including yourself. So I have the very end of my source, or rather the casing of the source, lined up with 3 centimeters. You could go closer than 3 centimeters, but just be aware that no source is purely gamma emitting, so you're going to get a bit of alpha and beta being detected as well, which will affect how straight your line of best fit is. Let's see what the count is after a minute. After a minute, the count rate was 2,000. Taking away 20, that gives us a true count rate of 1,980 counts per minute. Now, you might want to do repeats with this experiment, but you're doing it over a minute, so it's going to give you fairly reliable and accurate data anyway. Let's increase the distance to 6 centimeters and see what the count is now. That time my count was 840 counts. Taking away 20, that's 820 counts per minute. So what we're going to do is carry on increasing the distance and measuring the counts per minute. Now if this is an inverse square relationship, then that means that the count rate should be inversely proportional to the distance squared. So you might want to put count rate on the y-axis and then 1 over d squared on the x-axis. That will give you a straight line, hopefully. But a better way to do it is to plot distance on the x-axis and then 1 over the square root of the count rate on the y-axis, or c to the power of -1/2. It's the same thing, just the other way around. Now, why might we want to do that? Well, I've drawn my graph like that, and as you can see, I have a straight line graph, which is good, but it doesn't go through the origin, does it? So what does that mean? If you think about where I measured from and to, I measured from the very end of the GM tube to the very end of the gamma source casing. Now, we know that the gamma source actually isn't going to be right on the end. It's going to be in the middle of the case somewhere. Similarly, with the GM tube, ionization in the GM tube isn't going to happen right at the end. It's going to happen somewhere in there. So my distances, I know, probably aren't going to be quite right. What I can do is extrapolate the graph back past the y-axis. At that point, theoretically, we should have the maximum count rate. In other words, theoretically, when the gamma source in the casing and the GM tube that's actually doing the detecting are touching. So that can allow us to figure out what our systematic error is. For me, that ends up being about 2 centimeters. So I know that all of my distances are about 2 centimeters too short because, well, let's say the gamma source is 1 centimeter inside the casing here, and where the GM tube is detecting, it's about 1 centimeter from the end as well.